Okay, so let's take a look at some of the new cloth physics features inside Unity 3. Now this first scene we've got here is showing you a flag. So if we take a look at that object, you can see I've got a parent object and I've got several what we're calling attachments. And then I've got the flagpole and I've got the flag itself. Now the cloth physics takes the form of a component like most Unity features, and you can adjust all kinds of different stuff in the inspector. Now the attachments that you can see here are things that the cloth is hanging onto. So if I take a look at that cloth, let's just stop playing the game briefly and then take a look at these attachments. Now if we just zoom in on those, what you'll see is they're just several different colliders, and when we play the game the flag is actually clinging onto those but being pulled by some acceleration. So if I go back to the flag, you can see over here that we've got settings for acceleration, which is moving it in different axes, and also random acceleration. So it's clinging onto these colliders by using the attach colliders settings here. So all I've had to do there is to drag these items on to the interactive cloth component and tell it where to hang on to. Okay, so that's the interactive cloth component, and then you've got the cloth renderer to show off the actual visuals of it. So let's take a look at another example of that. So in this next scene we've got a rug hanging onto a frame, and we've got this little thing that I can shoot stuff at it with, and I can tear holes into the cloth as well. Okay, so that is yet another setting that we've got on cloth physics. So let's take a look at that a little more closely. So in the cloth settings that I've got here, there is a tear factor. So if I switch that back off again and press play, you'll see that now I'm not going to tear through the cloth anymore. Okay, so you've got interactive cloth and you've got cloth that you can actually tear. So there's two types of tearing. You've got the tearing that we just saw, where we can use tear factor to actually break holes in the interactive cloth. And then you've got tearing from attachments. So the attachments you saw on the flagpole just now took the form of 4 small colliders, and in this example we've got one long collider going along the top. So if I press play again, you can see that it's hanging from that bar. Okay, so the attachment I've got there is this box collider, and if I want to move the box collider, it's still going to hang on to it. So if I take that attachment and I change the rotation and place the box collider to the right, if I press play again, the cloth is going to hang off there, and you can see the pressure there has started to tear through the cloth. But if I don't allow it to have any tear factor at all, it's just going to cling onto the cloth like that, and it's still going to respond to whatever I happen to shoot at it like that, which is pretty cool. Okay, so the next example we've got is a football goal, or a soccer goal for the American viewers, and what we can do with that is to simulate responses of a net. Okay, so I may as well use an appropriate looking ball for this one, and you can see that it's responding to what I shoot at it, and it's billowing when it gets hit by a ball. The next example we've got basketball, another sports example, and if we press play there and go for a basketball, you can see the net there is responding to objects passing through it, which is pretty cool and will help you create some hopefully pretty realistic games. Next example we've got is using this on a trampoline. So let's load up that scene, and we can see that if we fire balls onto that, we can actually make it bounce. Okay, so I'm not going to actually count on getting something through the net, but you can see that the different collision responses you're getting from that trampoline are going to mean that you can create hopefully some fairly interesting gameplay dynamics based on the use of this cloth physics. The last one I'm going to show you is the use of it on enclosed items. So in this example we've got an enclosed mesh, so this kind of jelly man we've got here, and we've got an attachment which is just a collider which is in line with his arm, and if I press play you can see that he hangs off of that collider. Okay, so that attachment I've placed on a rigid body with gravity, and he's just falling down. If we don't have any gravity, he can just hang off it. Okay, so I don't need that rigid body component on there. That was just to show you the effect of him falling and dangling when it settles on top of the scenery there. And the final thing to show you, another enclosed example, is the use of it with another ball. So let's take a look at that. Now in this example we have a beach ball which has the interactive cloth component on it yet again, and this time we're looking at the setting for pressure. Now if I press play, you can see that the beach ball is responding to the floor. Okay, so instead of rigid bodies here, we're using gravity on the interactive cloth, and it bulges based on the amount of pressure versus the actual weight of it falling on the floor. So if we wanted to drop the pressure, what you'll notice is that the actual structure of it collapses. So if we press play, you can see it's kind of breaking off there. And if I had something again below a value of 1, it's starting to crumple when it hits the floor based on the pressure that it's encountered. Okay, so you can adjust the pressure inside an enclosed mesh. You can adjust the way things respond to being hit. You can adjust tearing, you can adjust acceleration, all kinds of very cool new stuff inside Unity 3, and I hope you have lots of fun with it.